Hello everyone, Zelrinth here, and there is an announcement on the Girls Frontline 2 that the unit Papasha is coming up. Now, it just got posted not that long ago for me, 53 minutes, but the big thing is that she is a free unit that you can earn in the game through the guild content. So this begs the question, are we actually getting the guild content earlier than they did in CN? If that's the case, they are doing a lot for global. This because it's just going to be a significant boost to more content and in-game stuff for this game, and so we're actually going to have quite a bit to do. So I thought we'd just take a quick glance at her, and then I'll do a more in-depth look at her kit here in the future, but we're just going to take a quick look. Now, she is rated on the CN tier list pretty low, but I mean, all units have their value. Like I've already shown with Krolik, she's rated extremely low, but she has a lot of value currently with the burn team. And right now, when we're a little bit lower on the SSR units we have, she's going to have a decent amount of value to our team. So first thing, we'll kind of take a look at it. Now, I haven't looked too heavily into her kit. One of the big nice things that she has is she does have basically a summon. So if you look at the pros and cons real quick, you can see that she's completely free, and it will take some time to get her and her weapon to dupe 6, but you can get both of them to dupe 6. Now, her weapon here called Svarag, which we can actually get max dupe, it has on its trait, when dealing damage for each debuff on the target, ignores 5 defense up to a maximum of 20%. So right there, you have a 20% defense ignore. Now, there is a negative on this gun, because it's going to be really kind of tied to her, and that's this part here. Increases single target damage by City Guard by 15, and then when you max it out, 30%. If the holder or any ally activated support attacks, increased crit rate of the next active attack by self by 10%, up to 30%. So the big negative here is this City Guard buff right here. It's only going to trigger on her because she's the one that summons it. Now, this one, I mean, right now, if you don't have, like, if you haven't pulled like classified manuscript from the banner, this gun, I believe, is going to be good, just generically good on most people that use the SMGs over an SR. Especially if you're doing a team, like we have a lot of units that have support attacks. And so right there, that crit rate, especially if you're doing it with like Chongzhou, you can get this up to 30% because she's going to do a lot of support attacks. I could see this being a decent one to have on them until you get something like classified manuscript or another future SMG. So overall, great little opportunity there for everybody. So when we take a look at her ultimate here, or her passive, basically at the beginning, summon, passive / summon. At the start of battle, summons a City Guard near Papasha, and that unit's down here in his entire little kit. So he has his own little stuff on him. So that guy comes in right off the bat. Now, he's kind of weak and dies very easy, but it's another unit on the field. So you're effectively getting another free unit that can take hits for you. And if you've played Sword of Convalare, we already know that with Inanna. You have her guard. She's kind of useless in doing damage or anything, but he can take some hits for your team, which is kind of critical in some battles. And so it's going to be probably the same thing with this guy. He can be very critical in taking some hits, as well as maybe doing a little bit of damage here and there. So you have him after a City Guard or a Papasha attacks, increase her skill point by 1 point. And then after she lands a critical hit, increase crit rate for City Guard's next attack by 20%. After the City Guard lands a critical hit, increase crit rate of Papasha's next attack by 20%. And so we have that. And then we can actually, this is one where you will eventually get max dupes. So the dupe things actually matter with her. So on the third dupe for her passive, increases crit rate by 30% and crit damage by 20% of City Guard at the start of battle. She gains 3 layers of United Strength. And then at the end of action, Papasha gains 1 layer of United Strength. And what that one is at the top, now, strength for each layer of this effect increases damage dealt by single target attacks from Papasha and City Guard by 10%. When Papasha lands a new target, all layers are cleared. This can stack up to 3 times, and it is considered a buff and cannot be dispelled. And so you basically, on a boss target, this is going to be extremely good because it's when she switches targets is when it will drop all those. So if you have a tanky boss, going to work really well on them. Now they have the 5th dupe. City Guard gains security monitor, And let's see, is that built into his kit here? No, it's up here. So security monitor, not exactly saying there, so it must be something on his skill list down here. Oh, okay. This is a passive down here. Security monitor is a passive on him. And then at the end of action, activates Overwatch on the entire field after the enemy uses a normal attack or skill, deals damage equivalent to 40% attack. This can be activated by 1 turn. This is actually looking really nice. Now, this is going to be a 5th dupe that you're going to take a long time to farm for. And like, if we had this immediately, this would be really nice on something with like Changzhou, because this is a way to trigger her attacks, because he is an ally. So an ally doing an attack, it could trigger it. But by the time we probably get the 5th dupe, because it's going to be something you're going to have to farm over time, just like Sabrina, it's going to take 6 months to get her max dupes. Probably going to take a while to do this as well. So by that time, we'll probably have better units for her. But that'll be nice eventually when we get it, because it's just another form of doing a support attack. So that's nice there. Now we can go into the rest of the skills on the city guard. So you have the anti-terror support, passive / support. After Papasha attacks an enemy target, city guard will support by attacking the same target, dealing physical damage equivalent to 80% attack. Just another support attack right there. Passive heal and blast protection. At the end of turn, city guard will move independently to search for cover. City guard cannot be healed or have a shield applied to it. When Papasha is healed, city guard recovers HP equivalent to 10% of its max HP. When it receives fatal damage, enters the reorganization state for 2 turns. So when he dies, the holder becomes immune to all damage, and fixed damage is unable to act or receive damage. When the duration of this effect ends, remove all debuffs and recover all HP. So he basically can't die. It just, once he does die, it takes 2 turns for him to come back into action. So just a nice little guy that you're going to have on the field. If you can't keep him alive, he'll just come right back and be able to take some hits for you again after he comes back out of it. I can see him being extremely useful on the one boss where you're having to throw a target in front of the shield, and you purposely have to take a hit so you can't hit that armor shell. That city guard will be a great one to throw right in front of it to take the hit for you. So bosses like that, it'll be really great, because that's an extra unit that'd be taking the hits rather than your actual T-Dolls there. So we'll take a look at Papasha's single target basic attack right now. Just your standard one. Since she has an SMG, it is a little bit lower range. That's going to be the negative of all SMG units. Then you have Honor Guard. Her first skill here with the stability damage of 2, cost 2 skill points, no cooldown. Select an enemy target within 6 tile radius and deals AoE damage, physical damage equivalent to 80% to the target and all enemies within 1 tile radius. If the selected target stability gauge is greater than 0 after attacking, City Guard gains Bravery of Resistance for 3 turns. So if it's greater than 0, he gets that Bravery Resistance, increases damage dealt by anti-terror support by 30%. So more damage on his support attack if they're not broken. So that's nice there. And then when we look at the upgrades, so when you have the first dupe, decreases the duration of reorganization by 1 turn. That'll be nice. Means he goes down, he's going to now only take a single turn to come back. City Guard recovers HP equivalent to 20% max HP when Papasha is healed instead. So instead of 10, it's 20. So that's actually really nice just on that first one right there. City Guard no longer requires the target stability to be above 0 in order to gain Bravery of Resistance. Enhances the effect of Bravery of Resistance to ignore 30% defense. Holy crap. You're getting some damage there. And then you have your fixed keys. We'll take a look at those at the end. Then we have the next skill on here, Silent Breakthrough. It's a skill, single target dispel. This one has no cooldown, but it costs a lot of your skill points. Selects a tile within 6 tile radius and dispel 2 debuffs from self. Dispels all control effects, command restriction, and frozen debuffs from a City Guard. City Guard will move to the selected tile and deals physical damage equivalent to 150% attack to the nearest enemy. Damage dealt is increased by 50% towards a large target, so that's effectively the bosses. After this skill is used, City Guard is unable to move independently for this turn. This skill cannot be used if City Guard is in a reorganization state. Well, you can't move him if he's ineffectively in the dead state. That makes sense there. So a lot of her stuff is all revolving around controlling him to do the most of the damage, but he's also extremely weak in terms of he can die very easily. The second upgrade here, if you get the second dupe, tile selection expanded to the entire field. That's pretty nice. And the skill will definitely land a critical hit. At the end of turn, City Guard activates anti-terror support once against the enemies nearest to it. And so it's just a lot about what this guard can do here. And then we get to the ultimate, Heart of Protection. Stability damage of 3. This one has a cooldown, so her ultimate actually has a cooldown rather than skill points. And it's 2 turns there. Select an enemy target within 6 tile radius and deals physical damage equivalent to 150% attack to it. City Guard gains Persistent Will for 2 turns. For each buff held by itself before attacking, City Guard gains a random offensive buff up to a maximum of 2 for 2 turns. So he can get some easy buffs right there. And then Persistent Will that he gets, that one is... I think maybe it's a translation thing. I'm pretty sure it's this Protection Will. Increases the number of Overwatch uses. Oh, so he gets an additional Overwatch use. That's nice. After each attack on an enemy target, increases damage dealt to that target by 5%. This is considered a buff and cannot be dispelled. Okay, that's pretty nice there. And that is pretty much the kit there. And we have to look at the fourth dupe here. The upper limit of the damage increase from Persistent Will is increased to 80%. Nice. The effects of the random offensive buffs gained is enhanced, and the upper limit of buffs gains is now 3. So he can stack a lot of buffs on that guard. Each stack of United Strength is considered an independent buff. Okay. And then if you get the 6th dupe, we've already... that one is at the start of battle, City Guard gains Persistent Will. Okay, so I think they are different. Protection Will and Persistent Will are different. It didn't really say what it does. Is it under his... Is it one of these? Yeah, I'm not sure what Persistent Will actually is. It doesn't state the buff up top. But gains it permanently now, rather than having to get it through the ability up there. And then Heart of Protection grants Protection Will to City Guard for 2 turns instead. That's nice there. So that is the kit. Take a quick look at her keys here. So fixed key 1, Honor Guard skill deals 20% more damage to large targets, so more damage to bosses. And damage dealt stability gauge, so even more stability damage. When City Guard is in the reorganization state when dead, basically increases damage dealt by Papasha by 20%. And that's nice. Makes it where you can be a little bit more value on Papasha's damage versus his when he's down. City Guard is unable to move independently, but has a 10% increased attack. I don't know about that one. I mean, we have to kind of see how that works with the movement. Silent Breakthrough when the skill deals damage. If there's no enemies within a 3-tile radius, the City Guard increases damage dealt by 10%. So that's nice. Just another damage increase right there. At the start of turn, if Papasha has less than or equal to 1 dispellable buff, Papasha gains 1 random dispellable buff for 1 turn. That's nice. At the start of turn, between Papasha and City Guard, the one with the lower attack gains Metal's Glory for 1 turn. And so Metal's Glory, what was that buff up here? Increases attack by 10%. This is considered a buff. Okay, so that's just another attack buff there, and it's dependent on the person. And then you have her Infinity Key. So if you get her Infinity up to 5, attack, defense, HP. That is nice. That one will be really good actually for Suomi. Just some nice stat stick on Suomi there. So even if you're not going to use Papasha, you'll want to get the Affinity to 5 just for that. I think that's only the second one that has the perfect stats for Suomi, so that's a great one there. Common Key, attack plus 5%, increases damage dealt by allies' support attacks, excluding self by 10%. Holy crap, that one is really nice. And that is going to be really nice on my Chongzhou team. I'll put it on somebody that's not Chongzhou, not Sharkri. That one will probably go really good on, what is her name? Kesnia or Xena, however you say her name. I think it's Xena. Someone told me I was pronouncing it wrong, so I think it's Xena. That'll be great on her because then that increases the damage dealt by Chongzhou and Sharkri. And then eventually when we get Cinerusi's support attack. So that'll be really nice on the burn support attack team. So really great key there. And that is Papasha. I mean, it's a great unit to have coming right away. Now, she is free with the guild content, so we're expecting it. I don't think it really states specifically the guild content's coming yet. I'm going to guess we'll get another announcement maybe in a few hours because they seem to do one at like 5 in the morning for me. We'll just kind of see. And there already may be more information on this because I'm posting this I'm posting this at 10 o'clock at night Central Time, so if they have one coming out later, I might try and update the video for it, but we'll kind of see at that point. But as of right now, they've just announced Papasha. Great unit to get right off the bat and should be free. I doubt they're going to make it a poll or change that up compared to CN, so we almost certainly are getting the guild content coming up when we get her. So that is going to be great. But yeah, that is Papasha. So this was actually quite unexpected because I don't think guild content came out that early for CN. I think it came out a decent amount of time later. Now, I mean, I highly doubt they're going to change it up. So this, to me, is very likely guild content coming, but there's always the opportunity that they could change it up and she's coming in a different way. But I doubt that. So if guild content is coming up with the guild, I do plan to make a guild and I will be inviting people. I want to try and get all subscribers in this one. I know in past games when I was a little bit smaller, I really couldn't get the audience to get into my guild, so I kind of had to pick some randoms. But this one, I'm going to be picking people that are in my Discord, and then it'll kind of be like a mini requirement to it. So I'll kind of put a post out on that to try and get all the members for the guild. Now, from what I understand, you have to level up the guild to increase the amount of people you can have join. So once I get it filled, we're going to just work on getting it leveled up, and I'll just kind of get people in as we level up the guild through time. Now, I am recording this video at the time of the announcement of Papasha and not anything else. So there may be more information on all of that as well once this goes live. So I'll give more information on that in a future video when it comes up. But then after this afternoon, I already have another video that I was keying up for this morning that I'm going to kick back to the afternoon. And that's going to be kind of looking at teams for Macchiato. But that one is not going to actually be discussing Papasha because I recorded it right before this announcement. So I'll probably have to do a little bit of tweaking and editing to it to include her in my thoughts on her teams, because I actually think Papasha will work pretty well within her team as well now. So I'll kind of adjust that. But yeah, I'll kind of just go with it. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.